Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. We're just taking a deep breath. There is a lot of chaos going on in the background with kittens, so just if you hear any weird noises, there's a bell ringing. That's what it is. What have we got here? Ooh, adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. Very interesting. I think that's about where we are, isn't it? You know, getting to about the third quarter. We just had our full moon in Virgo, right? And we're coming around to the point where we're headed into the wanings. We're going toward the new moon again, right? And so this time is the time for adjustments. It's time to look at the things that we've harvested or the things that were revealed during that full moon time and see where does that need to be. Maybe some small adjustments need to be made. That's all it is. And things will change tremendously. You think about trajectory, right? If you think about like when they sent humans, rockets, whatever you want to say, up into outer space before they had GPS, before they had the types of computer electronic things that we have now, right? It was like a bunch of buttons and a math. And it was about that trajectory, the specific point and angle at which the object was launched, in order to get it in exactly the right space that it needed to be. And if it's traveling a short distance, being just a smidge off on the trajectory isn't as big of a deal as if it's traveling a very far distance, because it goes from like a triangle like this to like a triangle that splits off like this. And if that isn't exactly right, it could wind up in the complete wrong space. And I think that that's a poignant point here, right, for those adjustments, because even if they seem small, they're going to have a very, very big impact. And now is the time to do that. Now is the time to look at those things. What's it say on the bottom? Show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. The full moon in Aquarius would have been like Leo time, right? That's correct. Yes. So about showing ourselves off, even those spaces, right, where you might have felt misunderstood. Maybe the misunderstanding came from a little bitty thing that needs to be adjusted. You know, show the world the real you. I feel like people might be getting the wrong impression. People might be misunderstanding a little bit because maybe the trajectory is off, the presentation is off, something needs to be handled a little bit differently. And it has to do with, again, when we talk about that Aquarius, right, far-reaching, future thinking. Hold on one second. Some animals are getting a little out of hand around here. Bring it back in, make those adjustments, tell them what's going on. You know what I mean? Like have a real truism, right? Real authenticity, even if it seems eccentric, even if you feel like showing the real you is somewhat alien to the environment or the social structure, the social people around you, right? It might be an idea that you have. Aquarians are brilliant. Aquarius energy is very, 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 very smart. And it's very thinking outside of the box. And it can be very aloof, right? Very detached because it's so far in the future, so far somewhere else, very eccentric to the general circle that sometimes it can't be seen or it's read in the wrong way. Okay. So let's see what Tarot has to say about this. You know what? I have the Thoth deck out. Thoth has been calling to me. Hermes Trismegistus, thrice born, thrice grand, Mercury, mercurial energy, and I do believe it's my moon and my Mercury, right? Where is your moon placement? Where are the mercurial placements within your chart? Let's say that 6th house, 3rd house, Virgo, Gemini, right? Where are those spaces in your chart? Where does Mercury sit in your chart? Because that's your communication. That's your communication style. And again, showing the world the real you. You might be thinking so far down the road that the people who you're trying to communicate with are missing the bit in between. So there's a misunderstanding. My dad used to say that to us. He's like, you know, Heather, when your brother comes and asks me a question, he's like, Dad, A, B, Y, D. And then we have a conversation. He's like, you come into the conversation and you're like, Dad, why W? And then you have to like backtrack it out of me to get to how the heck I got to that point, right? So that might be where we're at. There might be some sort of like, you are so far out beyond, you've learned more, you have a bigger context, you're giving yourself the chance to think broader, have a broader scope, have a brighter idea, right? You're having those ideas, and it might seem eccentric to those who haven't walked those steps mentally, right? Haven't gone through the mental gymnastics that you've done in like a very good way, like problem solving skills, right? This is where you've come to within yourself and within your placement in whatever the situation is that you're dealing with this. But I feel like it's very general, or like, let's not say it like that. Let's say applicable to the larger spaces of your domains. Okay, it isn't just in one space. It's how you behave, interact in those spaces, and those tiny adjustments being made. I hope the microphone is still. It's like my mic cord and technology, right? Aquarians and their technology. Adjustments need to be required. Show the world the real you. We're going to talk to Thoth here for a minute. Ancestor, spirit guide, what message would you like to tell the collective watching today? What would benefit us the most in this scenario? Wow. Knight of Wands, Queen of Discs. Knight of Wands, Queen of Discs. This could be two different people. This could be two different elements within yourself, because here you have that excited action, that go-getter, that want to get something done, passionate drive, inspired. Can be very impulsive. Can be, waste makes haste, or haste makes waste, but sometimes that the other is possible too. So let's just strike that, reverse it. Either way, it's this very young energy, youthful energy, right? And like, it could be somebody younger than you, it could be you, but again, it's that spark and that drive within you, that passionate inspiration that makes you want to get moving forward. But at the same time, we have to be disciplined here. Queen of Pentacles energy. Keep our feet on the ground, very slow moving. Yes, future forward thinking about, how can I maintain this? How can I sustain this? How can this feed us or continue to grow or make the investment? How does this change, challenge what will become our sustenance in the future? So if we go too quickly, we might overstep or make a mistake and work too impulsively. If we work too slowly, or only prioritize the longevity and don't prioritize the continual flow of inspiration that keeps things vivid and alive, then both will cancel each other out, and you just wind up with your reel stuck in the mud, right? These times are for adjustments to be made in both realms. And the Queen of Pentacles is really graceful, right? But my friend, we were just talking about this on our Facebook group, Heathen Stargazers, this morning about the adaptation, right? Survival of the most adaptable. Survival of the fittest, yes, okay, but that like puts this hierarchy up there, like as if there's like if that was the case, then everybody would be like top tier predators, right? That's not how nature works. It's like the survival of the most adaptable. Like, what is required of you? What adjustments need to be made in this space that allow for things to flourish and grow, and for you to be the real true you, the best and greatest and highest version of you, right? And at the same time, feel that you're being heard, accepted, responded to, right? This mic cord, guys. All right. Sorry about that. There is going to be a sound change, and I will try to fix that in editing. But again, adjustments need to be made. I need to get a new mic cord or more mic cords, because I have 3 or 4 of them and they're all broken. But I didn't stop to get to deal with that, right? Because I had stuff to do, I had places to go, I had things to be. But the Queen of Pentacles energy is like, take care of your stuff, right? Stop stuffing it into that bag. Thank you, universe. I hear you. However that applies for you. So showing the real you, which is very interesting too, because it was talking about the accomplishments that we've made, the adjustments that need to be done, the trajectory on and where it is that you're going, and the assessment of where you've been thus far and how you got there. the idea of that and re-examining some of those things, right? And today I'm going to clarify this with the TarotGazing deck, and I actually pulled out the decks that I made, and I haven't been using them, maybe not interacting with them in the ways that I need to be. Maybe that's an adjustment that I need to make for myself to be more invested in the investments that I've already made for myself in work. And you know, that is something that's like coming through here too. Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Wands energy. How does that apply in your scenarios? How does that apply in your life? Have you been moving so quickly forward that you're impulsively missing some things? Or are you moving so slowly that you're kind of like dragging some of that inspiration out of it? What is the adjustment that needs to be made? And again, like those moon cycles, right? So that you can wind up in a space where you are not only being the real true you, but you're also being accepted, heard, loved, effective, right? That's what's coming through right now. Ancestors, spirits, guides. Ooh, tell us about this energy. What else would you like for us to know? Six of Swords. There you go. Changing that mindset, changing that line of focus, changing in what it is that we're looking at right here at 11:11. And we talked about the 6th house, that mercurial aspect, right? Of Virgo, which is the time that we're in right now. And this is saying this is the perfect time to make the adjustments, to look at something differently or from a different perspective. Put your focus elsewhere, and all of that tumultuous water, all of that stuff driven by impulse, or maybe mistakes that we've made, or stress that's coming through, or whatever it might be, that's keeping some kind of boundary up or blockage that's not being able to be seen. This is changing that mindset, looking at something different, not just looking at something differently. Look at something different. Okay, so yeah, I was looking at something different here. We're looking at something different. We're feeling a different way about it, about what got us to that point, right? And then the calm shores. We reach the calm shores because our mind isn't being pushed and moved through all of the chaos. We aren't being like overstimulated, and we aren't sitting still. Like the Queen of Pentacles, that earth energy, just sitting very stoic, very still. This is air energy. This is our mind. Thoth, we talked about Thoth. Thoth is here with us today. That mercurial aspect, that mental space. I'm hearing gymnastics, I'm hearing prison. I'm hearing like you're flipping over all the different thoughts, right? Going over them again and again and again. And maybe the peacefulness comes through focusing on a single thing, focusing on the adjustments that need to be made, focusing on where we're going next, right? Take it how it resonates. That's what's coming through here with this. Look, 9 of Pentacles on the bottom. What is this energy? Strong energy, knowing that you can do it, you can achieve these things on your own terms. Right? Let's get one more. And standing on your own 2 feet to do it, not dependent on someone else or reliant on something else, right? Being able to get that done. Ancestors, spirits, guides, can we have one more? What is this? Oof. And getting out of our head about, interesting. This is the 2 of Cups, and it came out in the reverse. And that's that soulmate energy, right? And it was coming through in different readings this week too for us, about that, again, that soulmate bond with another, and having being caught up in our heads. And maybe, you know, there's two here that just are kind of quite different in their approach to things, and that could be, again, an internal something. This could be you and someone else, right, that are just working at different paces, right? Especially in like I'm thinking like the realm of occupation, right? The realm of like who you are. It's like emotions are running high underneath of this. It's like in order to get out of this mental space, 8 of Swords, again, that overthinking, that thinking too much, really, really interesting. Got this 8 of Swords here. overthinking. You got the 9 of Pentacles talking about standing on your own 2 feet. You've got this 6 of Swords coming through, moving across the water. 8 minus the 2 equals that 6. So it's about focusing on where you're going and what you're doing, and not so much maybe on what another said or how another is working. Let them do their thing, man. Let them do their thing and you do yours. And all will get done. Right? What is it? All is accomplished by doing nothing. And sometimes that's the case. Like, it's like there isn't really a problem to be solved within the relationships of the people as much as being able to adjust what needs to be seen or how it is communicated. And then the all is well. Let's get out of this mental space. One more, please. How do we get out of this mental space? How do we allow I say, like, Knight of Wands again comes out twice. Follow your inspiration, right? Follow your inspiration. Be where you need to be when you're there. 5 of Swords. And again, this guy is really competitive. Watch out for that. You know, we're not. It's like Queen of Pentacles. Here's come through. Let's talk about that. These guys are very competitive. This might be why you feel that you need to kind of step back a little bit, or that you're being misunderstood, or whatever the fear might be here, the adjustments that need to be made. Maybe, you know, 2 Knights of Wands, that's a lot of like, I can do better. No, I can do better. Look how fast I go. Look how fast I can do it. No, I can, you know, and it's like, they're just like, and here's she fighting, right? And here's this Queen of Pentacles just sitting in her grace, sitting there going, look at those guys. And that might be why there's this idea that, like, you know, you know your worth. You know your worth. You know your value. There goes the Knight of Wands. It was the Queen of damn. Yeah. Maybe taking a step away from overzealous, over competitive, stressful, pushing around, not getting places. It's like you're not allowing that to it's trying to dethrone you. You're not allowing that to happen, right? Showing the world the real you, that you can accomplish these things, that you say, that you are reliable and dependable, that you are quite unique. Quite unique. Like the Taurus and Aquarius, this is fixed energy. It's reliable, it's dependable, it doesn't really move, no matter how much these knights want to come in and try to make it go faster. This is very slow moving energy, and what it's doing is it's inspiring, right? The knights are there to be inspired, but when you put too much of that, it becomes competitive. You are no longer going to sit back and hide yourself because someone might react to the quality of you and how much higher quality you are than them, or how much further you've grown than them, or how much more you know than them. You're not going to be shamed into a corner anymore. You're going to sit in your space of grace and allow them to see the real you, the true value that's there, and not worry about the competitors, because you don't have to. You're that high quality. You've learned that much. You've earned that much. So when they want to come through and maybe, you know, and bring a little bit of inspiration, but then they get going so fast that they start stumbling over themselves, right? Don't worry about that so much. Moving away from that, adjustments that need to be made. And show them the real you. I just have one more, please? Because it's interesting, because here's the 5 of Swords again, and it says strife. I don't think that an argument needs to be had, but I think that because of the differences in the speed of how things are going between 2 sides of something, or 2 parties involved in something, maybe you're working on a project with someone else, maybe you're just moving at a different pace, right? And again, that feeling, go back to the beginning, that feeling of like alienness, that feeling of being like outside of the thing, you know what I mean? The eccentric circle, or the eccentricities outside of the circle. And they can't identify with you because they're in this space of competition. They're in this space of strife. They're in this space of arguments and winning at all costs. And you're above and beyond that. You're like, whatever, dude, I'm doing my work here. I'm sitting in my grace, right? So those are the adjustments that need to be made. Stop paying attention to that crap and start paying attention to where you're going. Start paying attention to your goals. 9 of Pentacles. Start paying attention to your harvest, right? Make those adjustments so that the trajectory that you're on, that your mission is on, is headed in the direction where it will land, where you like for it to land, right? Because Knights of Wands, not super good at that. Not super good at that. They're just gonna go off and as quickly as they can and figure out where they are when they ran out of speed. Too many, Spirit. Yeah, 10 of staves, 10 of coins. Look at that. It's coming out, and then the 8 of wands on the bottom. Like no, like I'm just like hearing like misplaced communication, like communication not getting because somebody's carrying a wide burden. Right? And it could be for family, or it could be, it's like one person is carrying this burden and it's like everything that they've done. Ooh, take this 2 ways because I'm seeing it too. It's coming, thank you, Spirit, it's coming to me 2 ways. And another person is sitting on their laurels because they've done the hard work to get where they need to be and where they are now. Right? But it isn't to be overlooked that the person who's sitting on their laurels busted their ass to get there. You are there because you worked your ass off to be there. You carried the burden of all those wands. You got 2 5s out, 5 wands, 5 of swords came out. 2 5s equal a 10. There's 2 10s here. It hasn't been easy, but you've created something. Something reliable, something dependable, something very unique. And here you are, carrying it all while these other idiots are like just running around outside in the circle, you know, like, ah, missing the point. And that might be why there's like a separation of from that to this. All right, one more, please. One more clarifier. Something that will help. Thank you, Spirit. Something that will help them get through this, please. Look, this person is boastful, arrogant, prideful, knows it all. The wand energy, you got that wand energy again. It's the King of Staves in the reverse. Cocky, egoic, thinks they know everything, very, very, very pushy, short-tempered. You're not going to invest anything else into relationships, projects, jobs, arguments, any of that with that personality type. Because there's no end to it. There's never any closure. They're in it for the fight, not for the win it. Right? You're in it for the win it. And you are winning. So you ain't got time for that kind of crap. I'm so proud of you. Show them the real you. Show them who you are, what you can do. All right. We're going to get a, actually first. So I made a few oracle decks and tarot decks. If you're interested in tarot decks, if you're interested in readings, personal readings, email me. It's in the description box below. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So just make contact and I will contact you back. I will never reach out to you and ask you to buy something or do something. So you have to contact me first at that email. All right, Ancestor Spirit. This is the Fancy Mancy. This one's in progress for a long time, but it's working on it. What's it say here? Look. Listen. See that? Zoom in. This person with their eyes closed, it's actually a poppy flower. There it goes. And it says, listen. Quietly. The eyes are closed. I used to tell my kids that there's a valve in your mouth that's connected to your ears and they both can't be open at the same time. And if they are, neither of them are really working right. So you got to close the valve that goes to your mouth so your ears will open up so you can listen. And they're like, Mom, there's no such thing. And I'm like, I promise you there is. It's kind of that idea of like, close your eyes, close all the senses. Listen. What is your body telling you? What are your senses telling you? What have people been saying to you? Is there truth in it? Is it coming from a point of anger? Is it coming from a point of peace? Right? Listen to yourself, listen to your knowing, listen to what you already know. And don't be seduced by or pushed into a corner by, fiery people who are angry, boastful, arrogant, mean. I'm hearing that. Listen to your heart. I think that song's been coming out a lot lately. And it's like when it's calling to you, right? Oh, look, it's over. Wow. Can't go around it, can't go under it, so you have to go over it. And I was looking at this picture. This is the, someone helped me out with this. It's in Jerusalem. It's the temple there, the temple on the mount or something, where there's a big, it starts with an S, and it is not coming to me right now, but it's the holy sacred space where in Christian, Judeo-Christian religion, where this light comes through the top of the building, and it opens up and it tells you what time it is, all on each of the windows here, on each of these placements as they go up through this dome. And it's about going through. These are the portals. We have the portal oracle here too. We'll find out what portal we're going to go through. What is, how do we get over this? How do we get around this? And how do we get through this? And then once we do, how do we know it's over? Right? If you are severing ties in some way or aspect with that particular archetype, whether that be in the real, like a human that you were dealing with, whether that be in the mental space where you're like, that I'm done talking to myself that way. I'm done letting, previous voices that return from the past that told you shitty things, that sometimes just chatterbox when things arise. Not listening to that shit anymore either. Putting that to rest. It's no longer here. Getting over it, getting over something, listening, truly listening. And if it's people or have been pushing, no, if they want you to carry a burden that's not yours, absolutely not. Accountable, reliable, dependable, sitting on their laurels, inspired, ready to move forward, right? On the bottom, dream. I can get back to that. What was your dream? And I always think about Tangled. If you haven't heard that song from Tangled, where they're all in the muddy duck or whatever, that mucky duck or whatever, and they sing a song about having a dream. And I highly recommend it because it's a moment of whimsy. What did you dream about? What was your dream? What was your ultimate goal? Right? When you set upon the beginning of showing them the real you, when you're going through that space where adjustments were needing to be made so that you could get to the trajectory of what your dreams are, getting to that point. Right. All right, we're gonna portal oracle. All right, ancestors, spirit guides. Ooh, what adjustments need to be made in this situation so the collective can get to their wishes, hopes, and dreams, so they can land in the space where they're aiming with themselves? What is the portal that they need to access? Harmonize. See that? Harmonize. Harmonic. And on the bottom, remembrance. Remember where you were, remember where you've come from. Again, remember how far you've been. Remember all of the things that you've made, done, contributed, right? How did you get into this point of realizing that's the portal, being in harmony with, remembering where you were, remembering the things, people, places, spirits that got you here. Right? Honoring in remembrance the places that are no longer, the people that are no longer, right? And being in harmony, in harmonic resonance with the you that has developed and grown through this process, and the future you that's waiting for you, Okay, so harmonic, number 32, 3 plus 2, creation, coupling with the self equals change. Right, this is the book. This is available on Amazon. Okay, harmony is pure, natural oscillations waving in the integers of the tone. Vibration within an auroral spectrum of a musical note is a harmonic in tone to that note. Harmonics resonate with the overtones that are fundamental. It is the exact fraction of the frequency wavelength of a tone. How are we resonating? Playing in harmony with the fundamental tones creates beautiful music. Are we feeling sharp or flat? Discordant notes can be exciting disruptions that shake up a tone in various ways. Watch your tone. Playing discordant tunes can change the oscillations of the waves, producing discomfort. Are we trying to change the music? Are we trying to play along? What is your integer in the chorus of the harmonic? What music are you playing? Again, are you in harmony? Are you in harmony with the dreams that you're hoping to live? Are you perpetually inspired? Are you getting where you need to go? And are you showing the world the real you? Now is the time. Now is the time. Look how far you've come. That's where we're at right now. Playing that beautiful music, that gorgeous space. Let's see. That's the portal. That's what's going to lead us from one side to another. And as I saw, 3113. Absolutely. So I also was called to read read a little bit of Bob Kaufman, which is a little strange, but we're gonna, and this is called I actually had a notebook. I had a bookmark in here, and I pulled it out for something, and now it's gone. I was like, wait a minute here. Poems poetically. Poems poetically pull the poet into balancing axis for endlessly revolving surfaces. Tender leaves are forest gifts to represent the earth growing out of decay. The mind's youngest buds live on the revolving transformation of live, enduring mountains of thought, and clear their pores in the melting sea. And open fields spawn their harvests in the passing rain of the plain as the spring divides its collections to the ocean. And the great waters, continual upheavings, speed towards subtle gatherings. Shepherds with light fingers, staffs, guided by the winds, spinning their auroras into the sun. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. That was so much better and more on point than what I was going to read you. And like that, Bob Kaufman. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. I'm going to put a bookmark in there right now. Show the world the real you. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for remembering to hit like and subscribe if this resonated with you, because it really does help the channel and I really do appreciate it. And thank you for coming back, and see you us again next time.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.